Hello, we are live. Welcome everybody. How we doing? Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the last live stream of 2023. Crazy to believe it is the end of the year already. Hope you guys are doing well and having a good week so far. Hope you had a good Christmas. If you celebrated Christmas or whatever it is you're celebrating, hope you guys are having a good holiday season. We got Zane in the house. Paul, what's going on, Paul? Scott, Steven, Ty, Lone Star Trent, how are you doing? Richard is here. Jeff from Michigan. We got a lot of members in the house. Frederick is here. Thank you, Frederick, for the feedback. Looks and sounds great. Appreciate that. Jack's Diner. Don is here. What's going on, Don? From Newberg, Oregon. Yeah, what you guys been up to? Any good smart home projects? It's that time of year where maybe you can kind of catch up on some things. Maybe if you're lucky, a little extra time around the house, not working so hard, hopefully. I've been trying to catch up on a few things myself as we get close to the new year. Been thinking about the past year and what I want to do and new things that I want to start and work on as we head into 2024. Let's see, we got George Langabeer. What's going on, George? AKA Silver Hammer Surveillance. Let's see if my pop-ups are working good. Happy holidays, y'all. Bring on 2024. All right. Glad to see you here, George. And congratulations on 20K on the channel. I believe you just hit that, so congratulations on that. I know you've been working hard over there. Let's see. I see some talk about wireless CarPlay. So yeah, if you're new here, we'll just hang out for the next hour, or maybe this is your first live stream. I see we got a lot of members in the house. Larry, Garance, how you guys doing? Great to see everybody. Matt is in the house. Mason, Matt T, all the way from the UK. We'll just talk about smart home stuff. There really is not a whole lot in the news as far as like new stuff. Been kind of slow the past week or so. So it will be a great time to ask questions. If you guys have questions, want to ask me anything or just discuss some of your projects. I love hearing about all the smart home projects that you guys are doing. If you have anything awesome you want to share, would love to hear about that. And I will share some of the stuff I've been doing. Like I said, just been trying to catch up on some things. I did recently, let's see, what have I been working on? I did get some of my shade. I'm not sure what I discussed last week, but I did get some of my outdoor shades installed recently. I only did 3 of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I've got about 9 of them put up. I did the first 3, kind of testing them out, and so far loving them. And then it just kind of started raining, and it has not stopped raining for since before Christmas. So we'll get out there and try to get the rest of those set up pretty soon. And been testing out some new HomeKit cameras also. I think I shared these last week, but I didn't have them set up yet. Let's see, where's my other camera? TP-Link has got some HomeKit cameras now for the first time. So again, I think I discussed these last week. But we got these set up. You can see they're plugged in, turned on, recording and stuff. I actually kind of like the form factor of this guy right here. Pretty cool little design. They both take SD cards. So anyways, got those set up, been using them. Had to turn off notifications because they were going crazy earlier. Curious too if you guys want to see a video on those. It's been a while, I think, since I did a video on any HomeKit secure video cameras. So maybe it'll be time for another one. George says, finishing up my videos on those cameras as we speak. Very cool. We'll look forward to seeing what you think about those, George. Lone Star Trent, how's the wrist and shoulder? Oh, thanks for asking, Lone Star Trent. So for those that don't know, I was in a car accident a little while ago, and I broke my wrist and my hand, fractured my hand and broke my wrist, and they are doing well. So I got checked up fairly recently, and the wrist and the hand are healing well. I wear my brace when I'm kind of out and about and doing things, but sitting at the desk, I usually take my brace off. The shoulder feels like it's getting better, but I won't really know for sure, until probably another month or so. I am supposed to start physical therapy, so we'll start that hopefully this week or next week. And yeah, hopefully we can avoid surgery there on that. So thank you for asking. Let's see, what fish won? Newbie to smart home. Awesome. Well, it's a fun time to get into smart home. It's always fun when you're just starting, I feel like. Take it slow and enjoy yourself. Ask questions if you have any. Hello from Las Vegas. What's going on, James from Las Vegas? I am so excited to be in Las Vegas very soon. I can't wait. CES is right around the corner, and I am so excited to go. I hear attendance is going to be really high this year, almost back to like pre-COVID days. So that will be very exciting. Really looking forward to that. Anybody else going to be there at CES this year? Going to go check out some of the new smart home tech, or just any of the crazy tech, robots, and there's always so much cool stuff at CES. Harold is here from Los Angeles. Lone Star Trent, CES, can't wait. Are you going, Lone Star Trent? Let's see, who I saw a comment too I wanted to get to. What was it? Oh yeah, you guys were talking about wireless CarPlay. I guess that was directed to George. Question for you, what Apple CarPlay device do you recommend? I watched your video. Oh, yeah, in fact, right before this stream started, my dad texted me. I got him a wireless CarPlay adapter for Christmas, among some other things. And he just texted me literally 5 minutes before we started this stream. And he said the wireless CarPlay is working great. He came to the house on Christmas Day. We went out there and set it up. It was super easy to set up. I don't remember the name. I'll have to look at the name of the one that I got, but did a little research. I think I asked some folks in our member Discord server on which ones they recommend, and just wanted to get him a good one. I actually got one for my grandfather too, so we're putting it through the test with him, and if it works well for him, then it should be great for my grandfather too. But so far he's loving it, sounds like. Autocast, I don't think that's it. That doesn't sound familiar. I'll have to look and see what the name of it was. But I watched a couple of videos. I think Dan, I want to say maybe Dan recommended some videos and stuff. So I checked out some. I know I asked over in our Discord server on recommendations, because I know a few people have used those. It was the first time I ever used. I never had CarPlay at all until recently. So Larry says, I've been to CES many years ago. Make sure that you bump up vitamin C, zinc, and anything else that might help, because people tend to get the CES flu after going. Yeah, I've heard that too. I mean, I feel like that goes just for traveling in general for me. Anytime I get on an airplane, try to bump up all the vitamins and stuff. Let's see. I've never watched CES live or otherwise. Usually get the news of the major announcements from news outlets. Okay. Yeah, I will be reporting, so I will probably publish some, probably do some YouTube shorts and stuff maybe throughout the week. Definitely follow me on Instagram if you guys are interested at all at just my journey and my adventures at CES, because I'll probably be sharing a ton over there on Instagram in my stories and stuff like that. And just super excited. I know some of the vendors that are going to be there. There's going to be a lot of good stuff announced, so it's going to be fun. Oh, cool. Gordon's going to be at CES. Awesome. Pietro Katina says, hey Shane, hey guys, last GMC HomeKit video was the best. I wish I could do it with an old Suzuki. Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, it was fun. I finally got a newer car made, in the past decade or so, and was able to do some fun stuff, integrate that into HomeKit. So I'm glad you like that. Hey, Keith from Tampa. I love Eufy solo cameras. Left Arlo. Do you think they will get HomeKit support soon? the Eufy Solo camera. Let me look up that one. I can't keep up. I don't use the Eufy ones really, so I get mixed. I can't keep straight all the different names that they have. So the Solo camera, yeah, they've only got a few that support HomeKit. Looks like you're asking about maybe one of these. And yeah, all their newer ones do not support HomeKit. I would be shocked if Eufy supports HomeKit. I don't think they're going to. They haven't put any focus on HomeKit or supported HomeKit on anything new in the past, probably 3 years or so. So I'd be shocked if they roll out support for HomeKit. But who knows? I could be wrong. Oh, and thank you guys. I see some of y'all know what's up. If you do have a question for me, it's great if you could preface your comment with the word question like some of you guys are doing. That'll just help it stick out a little bit more for me, and I will try to get to as many as I can during the stream here today. Yeah, that kind of reminded me, this one kind of reminded me of that other little Eufy camera. I forget the name of it. I feel like they're all called Solo Cam. Solo something, I feel like. The other little cheap one. But yeah, I've liked these so far. Richard, question. I just bought 2 Aqara mini switches. Somehow I crossed them. I'm not sure what to do. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Richard. Somehow you crossed them? Yeah, I don't know what that means. Greetings from, let's see, all right, Richard, yeah. Oh, sorry, I thought I hit on that comment earlier. There we go. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Topo is going to have HomeKit. Yeah, Topo, so these right here already do have HomeKit. Saw that comment right there. I don't think that was the original question, but these by Topo do support HomeKit. If that was the question, sorry if I misunderstood that. Thank you, Hellas Dancers, Clearwater, Florida. Thanks for answering. Love your channel. Well, thank you. Clearwater, Florida. Man, I love it down there. One of my favorite places to go is the Gulf side of Florida. Beautiful down there. One of our favorite places, my wife and I. Let's see here. I'm hoping for more matter over thread bowl brands besides Scamo Leaf and ADOT. Yeah, ADOT. I don't even think theirs are thread based. Theirs are matter over Wi-Fi, I think. I don't think they have any thread ones. Yeah, as far as I know, the only matter over thread bulb still is Nanoleaf. So that'll be interesting. Yeah, I am kind of surprised we haven't seen more thread based lighting products. So maybe we will see more. That'll be something to keep an eye out for at CES. Hey, would love to see your Smart Home 2023 update. Thank you for that suggestion. That's a good idea. Yeah, it might be time for another whole home smart home tour. You know, if you guys are into that. I think the last one, gosh, was it 2022 last time I did a whole video tour? Yeah, I'll have to look into doing a new one of these for maybe early 2024. Those are always fun to do, and you kind of see, you know, all the stuff that I'm actually using every day. Oh, thanks, Lawrence. ADOT's MooJoy has matter over thread. Interesting. I didn't realize those were matter over thread. I'm going to look them up right now. Let's check that out. I have seen those, but I haven't used, I've only used their, the Linkkind. I always want to say LinkedIn, but the Linkkind bulbs by ADOT, and I think there's another sub brand that I've used. I don't see any so far, but I'm sure they're out there. So these are, that's matter. Doesn't say Wi-Fi. Maybe some of these are. Are these some of these the thread ones? I don't use a whole lot of smart bulbs in my house anyways. I use actually only one or two. And that's mainly just for testing stuff. I got some lamps that I'll test some. Orion, thank you. Yes, that's the other one, Scott. Appreciate that. Van says, where can I buy Homebridge? Homebridge is not really something you buy. Homebridge is the software, so you would install that on something like a Raspberry Pi. A lot of people do it on a Raspberry Pi. You could install Homebridge on a Mac Mini. I installed mine on my Synology NAS. You can buy something like Hoobs, which is that is kind of like Homebridge. It's pretty much the same thing as Homebridge. That's kind of like an out-of-the-box system. But I don't think there's any Homebridge plug-and-play thing you can buy just yet. Kind of I know Home Assistant is making some stuff like that now. This little topo, I've got a person tracking on, and I keep hearing this thing move with me as I'm moving around. It's distracting. All right, let's see here. Try to get to some of y'all's questions. Oh, we got Wake Forest, North Carolina in the house. What's going on, Norman? Boise, Idaho, Albert. All right. Austin, Texas is here. Matt, how's it going? Pete says, how's Homey Pro working out? Are you still working with Home Assistant to integrate into HomeKit? You may be confusing me, Pete. I don't use Home Assistant currently. I am looking into, I'll probably tinker with it at some point. I would like to when I have the time, but I'm not using Home Assistant. I think it's a good solution. A lot of people seem to be happy with that, but I don't do that personally. Right now I am using Homey Pro still. I'm using that with, kind of side by side with HomeKit. I'm really liking the Homey Pro. Actually, just last night was adding some more of my HomeKit, my Aqara water sensors to Homey Pro. You see, I labeled them. There's a little notes feature that you can write notes in. And sometimes I get these things confused and mixed up in my different applications. So just wrote a little number on these, and I'm gonna keep on adding the rest of them. I want to get all of my water sensors. That'll be the first thing. I'm gonna start with moving all of my water sensors from the Aqara hub actually over to Homey Pro, so I can automate that Bulldog water shutoff valve all right there in Homey without having to kind of use Homebridge or anything else. Or I feel like that'll be a little bit better for those automations, and then I'll continue using it. So yeah, I'm using them both still. Jason says, I'm looking at Homey to try to bring over a big Z-Wave network of sensors, thermostats, and locks. Have you been able to see what is compatible with HomeKit so far? I heard mixed stuff on HomeKit support. Yeah, so that's the thing. There is only certain device categories that are supported from Homey Pro to HomeKit. So, of course, you have the HomeKit, what do they call it? The Apple HomeKit experiment in Homey Pro, which is their official, unofficial HomeKit support, I guess you could say. And only certain device categories are supported. I don't recall off the top of my head, and it was kind of hard to find. I'll try to find that and see exactly what that list is, but it's not very clear. So certain device categories won't, go over. The major ones like light switches and stuff like that should. The other thing to check out is there's another Homey Pro plugin that's not the one made by Homey. It's called Home Kitty, and that one I feel like has a little bit better integrations or device category support. Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it. So I've been able to get more devices kind of exposed to HomeKit through that one. So Home Kitty is a good one. Check that out if you end up going that route. Oh dang, HomePod Minis, $49. That's a good deal right there on the Armed Services Exchange site today. Wow, that's a real good deal. I bought a couple of them. I gave away, let's see, I think I gave 3 HomePod Minis for Christmas to family and friends. I paid, I think, full price for all of them. Thanks for motivating on HomeKit. I have been deeply into a relationship with HomeKit now, which my wife might soon start calling, and it's an obsession. Well, welcome to the club. You're in good company here. Whoops. Let's see. What did I do? There we go. All right. I'm way behind on the comments today, guys. Sorry. Let's see. I'll try to catch up. I'll go back and forth here with the top of the chat. I'll try to keep up with y'all. Mine must still be in the mail, Frederick said. Frederick, don't you have like 10 of them already? I think you have a bunch of HomePods. I think you might have more than me. Or maybe I might be mixing you up with somebody. I feel like you have a bunch of them. I actually gave the ones that I gave away were actually let's see, 2 of them were the first time HomePods. So it's kind of like trying to get them into smart home stuff. And then one of them was a second HomePod. So they'll be able to use that one in their kitchen, trying to kind of expand. I'm trying to expand my love for smart home to everyone around me. So we'll see how that goes. I'll report back later. I don't have any new smart home products that I've seen, not in the past week. We talked about a few, I think, last week, but there hasn't been anything new. I don't think I got anything personally new either, other than the cameras and stuff, which I've had for a little while, but I've just been playing around with those. Lone Star, did you ever get any updates on the nursery? So yeah, that was actually one of the friends that we gave a HomePod to for Christmas was the nursery. If you guys watched the nursery video where I set up the nursery for my friends, it was basically their introduction into smart home. So it was the first room. We basically started from scratch, and I gave them a HomePod and an Aqara camera hub, and then we put up a bunch of like Aqara sensors. We did some light strips. They had the smart crib in there, which was amazing. I highly recommend, if anybody or you know anybody who's having a baby anytime soon, definitely check out that video because there's some cool stuff in there. I think some cool ideas. We did a couple of automations that they love. So as far as an update goes, they are still loving it. They're using the crib more now. The baby, I was just over there on Christmas Day, actually. The baby's a little bit older now, so they're using the crib even more and more as the baby gets older. And she's about, I think, going on 6 months now. So they're loving it. And yeah, we gave them another HomePod so they can have one in their kind of like the main floor, their kitchen area. And, of course, they had the one in the baby's room. So now they got a couple different ones. They can, start spreading more smart home throughout the house. So yeah, they're digging it. They've got a bunch of SwitchBot stuff in there also we set up, and they got a good little start to their smart home. I have not, Eric. I have not done any power metering with Homey Pro. I have not done any of that yet so far. Matthew says, question, I purchased the Eufy 2C camera and set up in the Eufy and then add it to HomeKit. Battery life is horrible. Would I be better off setting up directly to HomeKit so I don't get double notifications? Well, if I'm not mistaken, the Eufy 2C cameras, I think you have to set that up initially in the Eufy app. I don't know that you can go directly into HomeKit without going through Eufy first, the Eufy app on those. I could be wrong, but I think those use the Homebase 2. I used to use the Eufy 2 Pro cameras, which is very similar. They both use the Homebase 2, so I don't think you can go directly into HomeKit for one. If you're getting double notifications, just turn off notifications on one or the other, whichever app you don't want notifications from. I actually just did that today. You'll have that issue with most cameras if there is another app. Like with these cameras that I was using or have been using, I was getting double notifications too. I just turned off all the notifications from the TP-Link app. And so, so that way I'm just getting them from HomeKit. So yeah, I would do that. And if battery life is horrible, I think the 2C cameras have even a smaller battery than those Pros. So you might want to look at getting the solar panel. That might help you. And HomeKit definitely affects battery life on those cameras. And also, how much action the camera sees. So if it's in like a high traffic area, that's definitely going to drain those batteries faster. I had one that was in a really high traffic area, and a while back before I replaced it, and it was draining pretty fast. So I ended up getting the solar panel and connected to it, and it lasted a good bit better. Question is, what is Homey Pro? Alrighty. Let's show you. Homey Pro. I did a whole video on this actually, so you could just go check out the video. But Homey Pro, as they put it, is the world's most advanced smart home platform. Essentially, a Homey Pro is a smart home hub. It does, let's see. It does, I was trying to find, maybe it's on this page. Yeah, here we go. So it supports all these protocols: Zigbee, Z-Wave, infrared, Thread. Well, coming soon. What we got, like, what do we got? 2 days left? 2 or 3 days? Just a few days left. So we're going to see if that happens. I have been waiting for this. I am excited for this, and I sure hope that it doesn't get delayed too much. Anyways, supports Matter, Wi-Fi, all this stuff, and yeah, it's a pretty awesome little device. I will say I've really enjoyed using it. So if you want to check out more, check out the full video that I did on the channel showing you kind of the ins and outs of that and setting it all up. Baba is trolling. Question, do you think that Matter will make HomeKit maybe make HomeKit, bring HomeKit to more people? Or I'm trying to read the question. Do I think it will bring smart home to more people or to more devices? Make HomeKit people more, bring, I don't know if I can't talk or if I can't read today. One of the two, maybe both. Do I think we'll get more smart home devices? I do think it will be. I think that'll be probably the main benefit for HomeKit users, big HomeKit users. I think in the long run, we will have more smart home devices than previous. So that to me is exciting. I've kind of started to see that already, and we already don't have, we don't have support for cameras yet in Matter. Matter only still supports certain things. So I think in the long run, I think this is definitely going to be good for us HomeKit users. How often do you reset your router? Not very often. So if things are going well, you should not have to restart your router. Every now and then I will. Some people probably do it more than others. Let's see. I mean, honestly, I really only reset it if things are looking a little bit off, if something's not working right. So I don't know, maybe once every couple weeks, maybe once a month if things are going pretty smooth. Again, I usually only do it if I'm having issues. Dan, what's going on, Dan? Happy holidays, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I see a question about the vehicle. I do have a GMC Sierra truck. Just got that recently and integrated that into HomeKit as well. That was in the last video. Just came out on Sunday. Question. Oh, let's see. Where did that go? My chat just jumped on me. Dang it. I had a question I was about to click on and then the chat jumped on me. Let me scroll up and try to get to some of these that I missed. I know there was a few. Oh, Robert. What's going on, Robert? I love that. Hope you had a well-connected Christmas. Palmakit says Schneider Electric has announced Matter compatibility for Wiser Hub at CSA launch event, then CES 2023. Still not available. Any news? Want to use it for my electric heater. I am not familiar with this or recall. I haven't heard anything about this. And unfortunately, that's kind of that's kind of what happens a lot of times with CES. You know, you hear a lot of announcements, a lot of promises. That's been one thing that's kind of cool over the last few years of me doing this, is kind of seeing, like, you kind of start to see which companies and which like devices and announcements you can kind of take with like a grain of salt. You're like, oh, they announced that. That looks awesome, but you know, I'm not going to hold my breath. We see a lot of that during CES, I feel like. And then there's other brands who announce stuff and it's like, okay, they announced it. I'm pretty sure before the end of the year, they're going to, like Akara is a good example. They announced a bunch of stuff at CES in January this year. I think they've delivered everything they announced by, you know, probably by the fall. And then they started announcing more stuff. So, you know, that's kind of one of those things with CES, unfortunately. A lot of stuff gets announced, not everything gets delivered. Kim, what's going on? Kim says, if you are new to HomeKit, where do you start? You're 101. I have the HomePod, the iPad, and the Apple TV. All right. Well, yeah, that's a good start for sure. Yeah, so you've got a HomeKit hub already with your Apple TV and your HomePod. So that's step one. Definitely start with a good network. So if you don't have a good Wi-Fi router or good network speeds, I would definitely look into that before you go too far down the rabbit hole, because it's just a little bit more of a pain with when you start, you know, the more devices you have and if you switch networks and stuff like that. So, you know, look at getting a good network. And yeah, my 101, if you're brand new to HomeKit, the 101 video, there's actually a playlist, and I think it's like 3 or 4 videos, and it really does explain everything you need to know in terms of HomeKit and how stuff connects and everything. So that is a good place to go. Like I said, that video is a little bit older, or those videos are a little older, but they do still all apply and should give you a good foundation just to learn kind of how HomeKit and smart home stuff works, especially with HomeKit. And I also did, I think there's a playlist on the channel called Getting Started, or no, that might be the HomeKit 101. I think it might be called New Home or something like that. But anyways, there's a video on the channel, again, a little bit older, but it's called Building a New Home from Scratch, or Starting a Smart Home from Scratch, something along those lines. And that's another good one to check out, because especially for some reason, I used to get asked this a lot, is if you were starting from scratch today, what would you do? And so I basically made a video all about that. And I think it was called Building a New Smart Home from Scratch. And I basically just went through and said exactly what I would do if I was starting from scratch, things I've learned and stuff like that. So that might be another good one to check out. Let's see. All right, I'm behind again on the chat. I'm gonna bounce back and forth. Yeah, I did do that too, Pietro. I did a rebuild from scratch also. That's true. That was a more recent one. Yeah. Yeah, that was a little bit different of a video. Let's see. Hey, Shane, do you think a car will relaunch? Will launch the smart lock for Europe and iOS 18 with HomeKey for Europe, maybe? Best greetings from Germany. Well, thank you, Alexander. I don't really know what they've got going on. I know Akara is going to have a booth at CES this year, which I'm excited about. Last year they were there and they had like a private suite, but they didn't actually have a booth. So this year I'm pretty sure they have an actual booth this year. So I'll stop in and I'll try to remember to ask them about this because I get a lot of people asking about the smart locks in Europe. I know some countries have like the is it the A100? There's a couple of locks. Let's pull them up. I just don't know where everything is available. Let's see. So we're at Akara. Like certain locks. Oh, did I hit the wrong one? Let's see. Yeah, no, that's smart door locks. D100, sorry. Oh, yeah, and A100. So the A100, D100, I just don't know where these things are available. I got another one right here. These aren't available in the US. Of course, the U100 is available in the US. And this is the newest one. And I know the deadbolts, the lock systems are typically different over there. So I wish it would tell me where these ship to. I know some countries over there can get these. But I'll try to remember to ask more about their plan if I see them or if I get to talk to anybody there. I mean, they got some nice looking locks. These look pretty awesome if you're able to get them. Yeah, it just doesn't say where they're available. So, any doorknobs that support HomeKey? No, I don't know of any. In fact, the only HomeKit doorknob, actually there's two. There's Yale, I think Yale makes one, and then the Holomark Secura, I think is the name of it, is the one that I've got. I've got one or two of the. Actually, I've got two of those, but none that I know of that support HomeKey. They're available in Asia. Okay, thank you, Van. Are they only? I could have swore some of them were available in Europe as well, but I could be wrong. Question, did you have a hard time getting Reolink cameras into HomeKit using the Synology NAS? No, not too hard of a time. I probably had to tinker with it a little bit to get, scripted working because I'm using scripted to get my Reolink cameras into HomeKit, and that was the first time I used scripted was when I was, trying to get these cameras in there. So probably had to tinker around with it a little bit to get it working, but actually, that was one of the other things I did recently around the house. I just added another Reolink PoE camera to my HomeKit, to my scripted and my HomeKit setup. I actually got the Reolink PoE Duo camera. It's the one that's got like two cameras in one. So it's got like an ultra wide, basically two camera feeds kind of stitched together, and it has a floodlight in there. Really awesome. Only thing is I don't have the floodlights not exposed to HomeKit through scripted. I really wish there was a way to do that. If there is, I haven't figured that out yet. But I just set that up so far, and it's been awesome. I love it. I'm telling you, man, those PoE cameras through scripted work so good for me. I'm telling you, no joke, they work better than some of the native HomeKit cameras. that I've used sometimes. It's crazy. You wouldn't think so, but and Dan says scripted for the win. Yes, sir. It's been working great for me. Let's see if we can get to some more questions. Used SPX, SPX. Hey, I've recently been watching your content as I just got a HomePod Mini for Christmas. Okay, cool. Order some lights to use with them as my Govee ones aren't compatible. How could I make them work? I guess with HomeKit. The only way to get Govee lights or anything for that matter that doesn't natively support HomeKit, the only way, well, there may be a few ways, but in general, the only way to do that is through something like Homebridge. We talked about Homebridge a little bit before. I mentioned it also in my last video when I integrated my truck into HomeKit. So maybe check out that video if you haven't already, just to see a little bit more about Homebridge. But essentially, Homebridge is a lightweight application. You know, server. You run it, you know, on your local network, and you're able to bring in products that don't natively support HomeKit as long as you can find a plugin. So you can look for like Govee right here and try to find the Govee plugins here. Let's see which one is the one that I'm using. This is the one I'm pretty sure that I use. It's a great plugin, works really well. I actually talked to the developer of that plugin a little bit when I was first started using it. So yeah, that's kind of how you do it. So look into Homebridge if that's something you really want to do. It's kind of a whole another little rabbit hole. If you're new to smart home, might be a lot to kind of jump into Homebridge. But yeah, that's what you would have to do. Question, any preferences between the flick buttons or car buttons looking to control a smart light switch that is very inconveniently placed? Steven says. Yeah, so Steven, I would say I like them both a lot. In general, if you already have an Aqara hub, you really just can't beat the Aqara buttons. Like I said, especially if you already have an Aqara hub, and really even if you don't, because flick buttons require a hub also for HomeKit support. As far as like functionality, price, everything, Aqara wins. I really love those. They work really well. Flick, in my opinion, wins in the form factor. They look great and they really feel great. So they just look a little more premium and feel a little more premium than the Aqara ones. But the price, the reliability and everything of the Aqara ones are fantastic. So. Yep, so I answered that. Yeah, I mentioned Matter. Hopefully Govee will have some more Matter stuff coming out at CES or announcements. We'll see. I know they're going to be there also. I expect to see a lot of Matter announcements at CES, so I will definitely be looking for that Matter logo everywhere. I expect it'll also be everywhere. Will says Habitat supports Matter since December 16th. Yes, they do. Thank you for sharing. We discussed that briefly last week on the live stream as well, because I think that was just announced. So yeah, Habitat now supports Matter, which is awesome. Very happy to see that. Anyone know what the line? Yeah, those are the Nanoleaf lines. I'll pull those up real quick. Well, I thought I had Amazon up here already. So I have a lot of the Nanoleaf products here in the studio. I also I did a full studio tour on my channel where I discuss all the stuff that I have in here. But I also have some of these right here, these black panels. You can't see those. Those are right off of the outside of the frame. But these are what I have behind me. Here, I'll share a link. This will be an affiliate link. in the chat for these. And what I did with these is you can purchase, they're called black skins, which is just little, I don't know if you could tell since they're on, but they actually have black covers over them. So they come only in white, but you can order these black skins. And yeah, a lot of the Nanoleaf stuff is on sale right now. I mean, you can see right there, 33% off. It's a pretty good deal for those because they are not cheap, but they look really cool. Yeah, the 433 megahertz will cover Lutron Caseta. I think you're talking about the Homey Pro, if I'm not mistaken. The only problem is that's not available. Oh, wrong button. That's not available in the US and Canada. So that's the only thing about that as far as the Homey Pro goes. I hope so. The question is, do you think Matter will bring more common people to the smart home table? I hope so. Hopefully it makes it a little bit more accessible. I mean, that's just kind of the goal, you know. Steven, I see the question here. Guys, try to ask your question only once because I will go back and forth in the chat. I'm trying to stay up with you guys and also answer questions. So try to ask your question only once, at least every 20 minutes or so. And I'll try to get to as many as I can. That way I don't get cluttered up here with multiple questions. Gene says, I want to give AirVersa a shout out for repairability and user serviceability. My purifier was reporting an incorrect value for the air quality, provided me a link on how to tear it down and fix it. Wow. Very good. Awesome. That's great to hear. Thanks for sharing that, Gene. I've got one of those right back there. You can kind of see it. Yep, that's the AirVersa. I got one right back there. So that's good to know if I ever have any issues. It's always great to hear when a company has good customer service, man. It's just, you know, seems to be harder and harder to find these days, good customer support. So I always appreciate it when there is a company with some good customer support. Let's see. Question, Anna's text says, have you heard a rumor of the Apple Series 10, the new face being round instead of the original Apple face? Oh, Anna's text, I really am the worst person to ask about these rumors because some of you guys know if you watch the channel a lot, or maybe if you're in my Discord server, I get so burnt out from all the rumors. Like literally we just had an Apple event and stuff, you know, new iPhones. And then the next day, everybody's talking about rumors for the iPhone 16. And yeah, I don't know. I focus on what we have. I'll worry about the rumors as we get a little bit closer, you know, like maybe the summertime, at least, you know, once we get, or the fall. But who knows? There's going to be so many rumors between now and then. I don't know. Oh, thank you, Bob. I appreciate that. So Bob says, new viewer, just started going down the rabbit hole. Love your videos. Please keep it up. Thank you. Yeah, have fun going down that rabbit hole. Yeah, I do. I do use a Synology NAS for my Homebridge setup. So I'm running Homebridge and scripted on my Synology right now. Yes, I am also using the FP2 presence sensor inside my home. I just started, so like I did a whole rebuild. We kind of talked about this earlier. I did a whole rebuild of my HomeKit smart home fairly recently. So I ripped out everything basically, including the FP2s, but I recently set one back up in here. I was using one in my living room area, and the motion automations just, I have not figured out a way to to do motion automations that don't piss off my wife. So I pulled that back up here, and I'm doing some stuff in here. I've got a couple automations for different zones here in the studio. I've got one for my desk. I got a couple lights, like I have a desk light strip and actually the Light beam. I did a short video on those. So I've got those here, and those all come on when I get close or in this zone, and then they turn off when I leave. I've got a little whiskey cart that I'm setting up an automation, same kind of thing. When I get close over there, I got a light that'll come on. And I haven't really figured out what I want to do for the other zones, but it's there, and I've been playing with it. But right now, that's the only place that I'm using one of those. Again, I don't know, I haven't figured out a way to not piss everybody else off in my house with my motion automations. That's a never-ending battle, it seems like, for me. Rodney, yes, I will be at CES this year. I cannot wait. So if anybody is going to be there, give me a shout. I'll definitely be, like I said, I'll be posting on Instagram probably the most. I'll share my stories, you know, the whole trip and the journey, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So follow me over there if you want to see kind of the play-by-play of CES, and then I'll do a video and everything too, showing all the cool HomeKit products and announcements and things like that that we're able to find. Bob says, question, do you find the FP2 to reliably detect presence? I get false positive and false negatives. No, I don't. The only issue I've had lately is when my dog like follows me everywhere. The only time I have an issue is when the dog, she likes to sit up under me when I'm working. She'll sometimes come in my zone and then walk out. You know, if she comes and goes, that will like trigger the automation to turn off or something like that. And they actually had a recent update where it was supposed to, I think there might be an extra toggle you have to enable to turn that on, but it's supposed to be able to differentiate better between animals and stuff like that. So I haven't experimented with that so much, but that's been the only issue I've had. I don't really get any false positive and negatives, at least not triggering automations and stuff. So that would be the only way that I would probably notice if I did. What's your preferred whiskey? Well, Paul, that changes fairly often. Let's see, right now I got some E.H. Taylor over there, and I like Eagle Rare. Got some of that. My go-to is probably, I'd say probably Woodford Reserve. What else is there? I like Basil Hayden. I've been drinking some of the different Basil Haydens lately, so I don't know. I'm not stuck on any one brand. It's hard for me to pick just one. But those are some of my go-tos. What's up, HomeKit Techie? Oh, Caroline's here. What's going on, Caroline? Yeah, Makers. That's another go-to. Maker's Mark. Got a nice bottle of Woodford Reserve. All right, we drinking now? Angel's Envy. Yeah, that's a good one too right there, Jack's Diner. I'm with you on that. I like Angel's Envy also. Some good recommendations. Cheers. Nice. We'll have to do the... Maybe next week we'll do, so I see that we do have a lot of members here. Next week we'll actually be able to do our monthly video chat. So if you're around, we do that once a month for the members over on Discord, on our Discord server. So that will be next Wednesday after the live stream. So maybe I'll grab a glass for that next week. Question, Matthew says, getting false notifications for washer and dryer automation using a Cara vibration sensor and push cut from a video of yours. Any idea to solve this? Love the videos. Thank you, Matthew. So most likely Akara stuff, their sensors are very reliable. So I would say most likely if you're getting false notifications for a washer or dryer automations, it's probably because the, just say a dryer cycle, for example, will tumble and then it'll pause, especially a washer definitely does this, and then it'll start again. So if you have automation set for like when motion is detected or probably when motion stops being detected, then what's happening is, it'll be going through the cycle, then it'll stop for a second, maybe rinse or do something, and then it'll start again. So it'll trigger. That's probably what's happening. The only thing I can think of, again, that's a tricky one there. The only thing I can think of is to do some sort of like convert to shortcut for your automation. So, you could do, when motion is not being detected for the sensor, then do convert to shortcut and then play around with some options there. You can do like a wait action. You can play around with wait and repeat actions. I don't know if you've done this before, but you can do like repeat, wait 10 seconds, and then say if motion is detected or not detected, exit the shortcut or then run your automation, stuff like that. So you can basically, when it stops detecting motion, you can kind of wait a little while, check again, and then even maybe wait longer and then just kind of keep checking. And you can check maybe, 4 or 5 times using a repeat action to see if motion is still not detected and then run your automation. So that's probably where I would go with that. Again, that's a tricky one there, but because the way those, those machines they cycle and then stop and, a bunch of times in one cycle. So that might be, something to look at. Whiskey live chat on Discord. Hey, that sounds fun. I'll be there. Yeah, smart plugs, that's a good one too, Frederick. That's a good suggestion. A smart plug could work. That may be trickier for a dryer since a dryer takes, you probably can't use a regular smart plug for your dryer. But definitely for a washing machine, if you're able to get a smart plug that has power monitoring that you can run automations off of that, that's a good suggestion as well. Need to try Stratton's whiskey. I have had Stratton's also. I have. Yeah, that's a good one as well. Austin says, is there a way to trigger an automation when an Apple TV starts playing video? I want to automate my curtains to close when I start watching my Apple TV during the day. No, unfortunately, there's not. The best thing to do, which may not be possible for you, is if you have a HomeKit TV, which could be triggered to come on when you start watching your Apple TV. If you have a HomeKit supported TV, you can run automations based on your HomeKit TV turning on or off. Unfortunately, though, you can't do it natively with the Apple TV. I don't know why. I really wish they would give us that ability, but unfortunately you can't. Oh, there we go. Thanks, Caroline. So we were talking earlier about the wireless CarPlay, MSXTTLY. It's a crazy name. No wonder I didn't remember it. But that's the one I got my dad, and he likes it. He likes it so far. And we will hook my grandpa up soon with one of those also. And yeah, he's really happy about it. And it was like the super easy setup. I was expecting to have to spend much more time setting it up, but did not have to. So thanks, Caroline. For anybody wondering, that is the name of the one we used. What Toya gateway do you recommend for HomeKit integration? Shout out from Brazil. Awesome, thank you. I have used the ZemiSmart hubs. So they have a couple versions. They have the HomeKit version, and then they have the Matter hub. Both will work. I don't really, I guess, I don't really know the difference. You know, I haven't really looked too deep into the comparison. It's been quite a while since I used the HomeKit only version, but they both allow you to bring Zigbee Toya products into HomeKit. I guess the benefit there with the Matter version is that you could also, you know, use it with Google Home or Lady A or whatever if you wanted to, or maybe if you change your mind down the road. So that might be the one that I would go with. But yeah, I would just look at those. Again, the Zimmy Smart one, that's just the one that I've used. I don't use a lot of Toya stuff, but those are the two that I've used, and it worked really well. I mean, I was able to get all the Toya stuff into HomeKit that I tried using that Zimmy Smart one. And I did a video on that recently. It was just probably a few weeks ago on that new Matter hub that Zimmy Smart put out. So you could check that out and probably get a little bit more information. Devo, that drummer boy. I have not used the Brilliant Home Control. Overall thoughts is it's priced really high. I think it's probably a little overpriced. I don't know if it's really worth the money for a HomeKit user. Maybe if you have products that, you know, can integrate into it. It does have a lot of integrations, but the HomeKit integration is not, I don't know, you can't display your HomeKit devices on the panel. So for me, I don't know. I feel like it's a little overpriced for what it does as a HomeKit user. Again, that's as a HomeKit. It's a cool product, you know, if you can use the intercom feature and stuff like that. I just think personally, I don't think I would use it a whole lot. And I just don't know if it's, you know, really worth it for me, but I hear good things and it looks really nice and it looks, you know, like a solid product. Pietro, thank you. Pietro with his member chat. Been a member for 13 months too. So thank you so much, Pietro, for that continued support. He says, have a wonderful New Year's Eve to all. See you next year. Now it's time to go to bed, 11 p.m. in Italy. Thank you, Shane, for this wonderful year. And to all, man, thank you so much for the continued support. I do appreciate that. And I hope you have a great New Year's. And go get some rest. I appreciate you hanging out with us. And on that note, we'll go ahead and wrap this one up, guys. It's been a lot of fun as always. I hope I got to your question. If not, join me next week. It will be a brand new year. I'll be right back here. And also all you members, I will be in the Discord as always every day. So you know you can reach me there. And it's just been a fun time today and all year. I've really enjoyed these live streams, hanging out with you guys and, you know, going down this smart home journey with you all. So thank you for tuning in, hanging out. It's been a blast. Looking forward to 2024. I've got some things in store I'm really excited about. Want to keep on doing more here on the channel and just keep having fun with it. And CES, we'll be in CES really soon. Looking forward to that. Follow along. Follow me on Instagram to tag along with me for that little trip. And I hope you guys have a great, happy, and safe New Year's Eve. And we will talk to you next year. Bye.